I play a character called Mac who works for MI5, and at the beginning of the film he's been working for some time in trying to reel in the character of Colette. Basically, Mac brings her in as an informant and then realises that not everything is as it seems, and he basically develops a bit of a conscience. He feels that he wants to protect this person who is brought in and made start working for MI5. I've been asked so many times whether the character's a good guy or a bad guy, and I think, you know, the best characters are always a mixture of both, really. It's not about clearly drawn lines of good and bad, right and wrong. It's people sort of grappling with decisions, and I think certainly in this film Mac is trying to do the right thing and has got a conscience, and you know, he's coming from the right place, but you know, it's a very complicated time. It's a very complicated thing, the whole Northern Ireland thing, and I think one of the strengths of the film is that it addresses that nothing is clear cut. You know, it's like people are trapped in situations, the same as, you know, my character's trapped in a situation, Colette and her family are trapped in situations. All the characters in that are grappling with issues and having decisions to make, and there's no clear-cut answers because there never are in situations like this, and I think that's one of the strengths of the film. I read the script and I really, really loved it. I thought it was a really tight piece of writing. The premise of the story was really very, very tight. There was no air in it. I felt it was a very gripping story from the minute it started, and it was unusually sort of spare and economical, and everything in it is very essential. It was very intense from the minute the film starts. I read it at a time where I wasn't really going to work, and then I read the script and just felt I had to do it because it was such a good piece of writing, and I was also a fan of both James Marsh's documentaries and the film that he'd done, and it was just one of those that you read and think, oh, I want to do this, I really like it. I didn't actually read the book because James asked me not to. I read him and told him, I read the script and called him and said I really like it. I said, look, I'm going to go and get the book, and he said, I wouldn't, it's so different from the script. And because Tom had written both the novel and the script, I decided maybe I'll just leave it and just work on the script. And really the preparation that I did is pretty much what, you know, I do for a lot of films. As long as I understand everything that's going on in my character's world and I feel good. I spend a lot of time talking to James, and we spent, you know, time with the script just talking everything through. I went to Belfast in, it must have been the early 90s, and it was, you know, before the end of the Troubles, and it was a war zone, you know. I mean, there were helicopters, there were curfews, there were soldiers on the street, and I remember it being a really sort of powerful experience, and it was just part of my youth, you know, seeing those images on the TV and seeing that. You just remember that, and it's amazing really how recent it is and how much it's kind of changed. And it was only really walking into the production office and they'd filled the walls with images from that period that I thought, God, yeah, of course it wasn't that long ago that it was like this. And they looked like, the pictures looked like a war zone. It could be anywhere, you know, you definitely knew it was a troubled place. And I think James did a great job in sort of capturing the atmosphere of that period, really. I think it's really good when you work with people who've made documentaries. I've done it a few times because their sensibilities are often very real. They're not interested in anything fake or phony because they've spent their lives trying to capture the essence of something very real, because the notion of a documentary is it's not fabricated, it's not people pretending, it's real life and real people, and you're trying to hone in on that. And so when they start to make features, their sensibilities are very grounded in, you know, and that's always very exciting. And you know, just the way he approached the whole making of the film, he had that sensibility, and I really appreciated that and felt that, you know, that was a huge strength of his. Yes, I mean, I had a great time working with Andrea. I think she's a really great actress, and you know, I think that their two characters, they very much come from different worlds, and it's very much a clash. You know, I represent one side of something and she comes from something else, and they kind of meet, and you know, it's not an easy relationship, but I really enjoy doing the scenes with her. I think she's a seriously good actress.